Chris, many congratulations. 6 wins in a row. That hasn't happened at Forest since the 1960s. What underpinned tonight's effort? Another clean sheet, and you had to withstand a lot of pressure in that first half.
Yeah, definitely. It's about consistency and doing what we've been doing extremely well already this season. Not letting up. Halfway through the season, nothing's done and dusted. We need to keep going, keep doing what has been so great in the first 19 games, and that's what we need to do here.
We'll come to your goal in a second, but Taiwo getting his first since February, you could see how much that meant to him and the whole group.
100%. He's a big part of us, and he's a fantastic player, and it's great for him because that's what he wants and what he deserves for all the work he puts in on and off the pitch.
It was a great start to the game. Morgan Gibbs-White silencing the Wolves fans yet again.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, Morgan's a fantastic player, and he gets a lot of stick, especially coming here, and that's the best way to show it, on the pitch, doing the job and scoring goals like he does.
Second goal that arrived, it felt like at a crucial time. It kind of took the wind out of their sails and just seemed to catch them off guard, which is what you're so ruthless at.
Yeah, 100%, and I think it was at the perfect time, and it's all credit to Cal. He's done absolutely fantastic. Took it 50, 60 yards and then put it on a plate, so without him, the goal's not there, so he's fantastic. That goal is all credit to him.
I know you've been asked about your record under Nuno quite a few times, but I mean, the Wolves fans love him. You can see why he gets the most out of players. He got it with Raul Jimenez here as well. What is it that he gives you? Is it the confidence? Is it the responsibility?
It's all of that confidence, belief, responsibility, and a team that works to all our strengths, I think. And it's not the same every week. We tweak every week to try and get better and better. And he's just done superbly well since he's come in.
And you've got Liverpool at home next. That's set up rather nicely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got the Luton on Saturday, which we'd like to take care of, and then we can focus on trying to put in a good performance against Liverpool.
Just finally, 40 points, 20 games. It's the same as Leicester got the year they won the title. Too early to book the open top berth?
Well and truly way too early. We're not thinking anything like that. We're thinking about our next game, Luton, and then on to Liverpool.
Well played tonight.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Well done.
You wouldn't expect them to say anything else, but 6 wins out of 6. They've every reason to get dreamy, these Nottingham Forest fans at the moment.
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. Why not? Why not? That's what football's all about.
Yeah. I mean, some will be pinching themselves at the moment, won't they?
They will, yeah. And do you know what? I hadn't even given it any thought, to be honest. I was thinking, can they hang on to a European spot? A little bit like Mark was saying before the game. But as soon as you said Leicester, same points, I started thinking, can it? No, surely. And then I thought, next game is Liverpool. Imagine that. They beat Liverpool. All of a sudden, those questions will be getting asked thick and fast. So, no, I mean, at the moment, it is still just a pipe dream. And if you offered Nuno 4th, let's say, Champions League spot, he would be, he'd snap your hand off. But it's great. It's always great to see. There's always one team, isn't there, that does particularly well, that, that outperforms themselves in a season. And there's a couple this season. Fulham are having a really good season. Bournemouth are doing well, but there's nobody doing as well as Nottingham Forest compared to expectations. So it's great. It's great that it gets mixed up a little bit.
So if you are the manager, do you have to manage those expectations at the moment?
I think he does that every single week, and he's been doing it right since the start of the season. First of all, I think you set off as a manager because you believe that the hype is very big. And then, actually, after a while, you start to believe the hype yourself. And I'm only joking. I'm only kidding. No, he definitely has to manage expectations because expectations is exactly the word. It'll be now around the City ground. They'll be looking at the table. They'll be looking at the number of points that. Let's say they look at the 4th team at this moment and they think, well, there's a little gap then, maybe to 5th or 6th or whatever it is. European place is definitely on the cards. And before tonight, I would have thought that I thought this might have been a difficult game for them, and it could have proved in the first half. But overall, it's another win away from home, and as you say, 40 points in the board, so that's 2 points per game. That's big, and that's Champions League form in any season you're talking about.
Yeah, and they got off to a terrific start again tonight, didn't they? Morgan Gibbs-White back at his old stomping ground.
Yeah, it was quite a strange goal in that there was a line of 4 players there, 4 attacking players, just almost stood there, not contributing to the defensive side of games. And there was just a back 3 of Wolves that were sat on the halfway line. We show it a little bit clearer in this situation. Not much defending going on by these 4, but then again, they're outnumbering. And all of a sudden, Martin mentioned it at half-time, when Morgan White breaks with that type of pace. In fact, there's pace all over the place, apart from Chris Wood, maybe. then it's very difficult to catch them. A little cutback, yes, there's a little deflection, but it's a great counter-attack. Would that have gone in without the deflection?
I think the goalkeeper might have saved it, but yeah, the deflection has taken it away from him as well, and the spin as well to the contributing as well, contributing.
And then the killer goal for Wolves was right on the stroke of half-time, and you were unhappy with the Wolves' back line here in the
Well, it's just a knockout from the goalkeeper. There should be no danger there. Doherty, that's bonehead defending, really. He's got his hand in the air thinking about offside. He's no idea what's happening behind him. And just go and do your job. Your job is to defend, first of all. Stop the player having the run. Hudson-Odoi realised immediately now I can outrun him, and the minute I get into the penalty area, if I don't get the ball across, he's going to foul me. And he almost did as well too. So that knocked the wind right out of the sails of Wolves. And in fairness, they huffed and puffed in the second half, but never really recovered from that. A minute or two before half-time, Steve, they're well in the game. They've created a couple of chances, as Michael had said, some really good chances. Could easily been in front at that stage. They find themselves 2-0 down at half-time, when in actual fact, probably Forest hadn't done enough to be 2-0 in front.
Suddenly he's one behind the likes of Isak in this year's total.
Yeah.
Chris Wood.
No, incredible season. Incredible season. He is a bit of an all-round player. He's got the strength. He's got a bit of size about him. He's a good finisher, good in the air. He's been taking some solid penalties this season as well. So yeah, we look at that, and he's in good company, isn't he? Breathing down the neck of some unbelievable players. Now, whether he can go and mix it with the top two, I doubt. But if he stays in the top 6 all season, that will have been an unbelievable season. To be in double figures in a team like Nottingham Forest is a great achievement, but he'll be looking at trying to push towards that 20 now.
Yeah, and the man he's keeping out of the team, we talked about their strength and depth before the game kicked off, Taiwo Owen came on, and you could see his elation at scoring for the first time since February.
Well, Steve, he looked the big player a couple of seasons ago, really, and I don't know whether it was injuries he'd picked up. But I didn't think that. I thought that when he was fit, he would go straight into the side. Now Wood's keeping him out of the team, and rightly so at the moment. But he's a proper big player. He's a real handful as well too. And he'd been a lot of other teams first pick as a centre forward. He's got his goal. He's delighted to get the goal. And it's the most important thing, as this young man beside me would know.
Yeah,
scoring goals.
But get to your point before the game, they're bringing on Owen, Ryan Yates, James Ward-Prowse, all off the bench tonight, Forest.
Yeah, they invested a lot of money in recent times, and when you invest a lot of money and lots of players coming at once, it can be quite hard to gel straight away, and that was the case. But now they're certainly gelling. It's incredible to see how good a player some of these guys are. And Owen, as you say, I mean, he was scoring, banging them in at Chris Wood pace, only last season, and now he can't get into the team, and understandably so. So, lovely problem to be able to have to choose between those two and have the players as well to come on and make a difference. So, things are good, and they're keeping a lot of their players fit. That's so important in the game nowadays. If you've got a fit squad, it just shows you Wolves tonight. They had to make 5 changes before the game. It knocks you off your stride, and a settled team, a consistent team, really important.
The both of you just mentioned there and reiterated the point about a settled side. Nottingham Forest a couple of seasons ago had almost 50 players at their disposal, and for a manager that's really difficult. The players that seem to be coming in on a weekly basis, and you're trying to get them the side together. Now suddenly, whatever the manager's decided to do, he's gone with a certain squad here. As you mentioned, the subs bench is still quite strong, but they are essentially settled. They've got a settled side. They haven't picked up too many injuries. Certainly the important players have played most of the games this season. And suddenly when you get on that little run, you actually do feel as if you can win football matches, even from poor positions. When I say poor positions, I mean maybe going a goal behind. But they are quintessentially like a counter-attacking team, really, because they don't mind sitting in. They're strong defensively, which is the core of the side, really. They do get enough men back, and they can break. And because, as Michael mentioned, they've got a bit of pace in the team, you feel as if they're dangers on the break. So they've got all of those sort of qualities. And it kind of reminds me of our team a way back when Nobody in the studio was born at the time, you know. So, and I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. You know? In fact, I won't even bother. But we had a really good counter-attack inside, young man. Believe
And
it
when
or
you
not.
think, you mentioned the word Leicester before, I mean, it's you wouldn't say it's dissimilar in that point of view. They like sitting back and counter-attacking as well. So you never know, but very impressive again tonight.
Indeed. And one of those key players is their captain tonight, back at his former club on the score sheet. Here he is, Morgan Gibbs-White.
6 wins in a row. That hasn't happened in all of your lifetimes. Remarkable. What's behind this run?
I think it's down to just the belief in the squad at the minute. Everyone believes in each other. Everyone believes in each other's roles. Everyone believes in what the manager wants. And I think we've stuck to that throughout the whole of the season, and it's really paying off. And, you know, I'm just delighted that the boys are on such a high at the minute, and hopefully we can just keep it going.
Yeah, you're a thrilling team to watch, especially when you break. You burst as a team. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. What is it that you're doing that makes you quite so clinical?
I think it's just we're just taking our chances, and I think that's something that we wasn't doing last season, and we wasn't seeing out games like we are doing now. And I feel like that's the real tipping point this season, where we're so clinical. Our striker's on absolute fire. He has been since the start of the season, and I think we just got a way of playing, a way of believing, and I think we just stick to that, and you know it pays off.
First thing I wrote in my notepad tonight was pantomime boos for Gibbs-White. You used to play here against Wolves. You always do the same celebration, fingers in your ears. Did it have a bit more meaning tonight?
No, I think it always has the same meaning. Just block out, you know, whatever they say. But I don't mind it. It's sort of gives me that edge, that more motivation to want to go and do better and succeed. So they're feeding the fuel, if you'd like to say. But I love it. I think this is what is part of football, you know, the fans really enjoying it, giving stick, and then us performing on the pitch. And like I said, I'm just more than happy that the boys got the 3 points tonight.
New England coach Thomas Tuchel was in the stand tonight. Were you aware of that?
I wasn't, but I just got told in the interview that I just did before. No, obviously it's nice that he's here. But like I said, I've just got to concentrate on club level at the minute, keep performing for Forest, and just see where it goes.
You've given him a little nudge, though.
If you'd say so. Like I said, I just got to concentrate on what I'm doing at club level, keep performing for the club. I think that's the main goal right now, and then we'll just see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to keep performing at club level.
Good man. Congratulations tonight.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well done.
There's a full England international now, of course, in front of the new coach, Thomas Tuchel. He has been a terrific signing for Forest. He's really flourished there, Martin, hasn't he?
He's having a really good time at this minute. Yeah, I suppose maybe I might have been a wee bit dubious. I thought he had got a big reputation at Wolves for comparatively little, I thought at the time, and so his move to Nottingham Forest, but he's done exceptionally well. It's the driving forward with the ball, confidence exuding. And Boxing Day he did exactly the same thing. A break, Tottenham Hotspur on the break. He's put Elanga through for the goal, but he's oozing confidence, and he's a really good player. There's no question about it. That's not to say that I didn't think he was a good player. I thought he was getting a big reputation for not as much as he should have done at the time. But he's proving himself here.
And his price tag reflected that, didn't it? I was exactly the same opinion.
But that was Steve
rated
Cooper who paid it, who'd won the Under-17 World Cup with him, hadn't he?
Knows him well.
Yeah.
And I rated him, don't get me wrong, I couldn't believe the price tag when he first went. I thought, am I missing something here? That's double what I thought he was worth, he was valued at.
But Steve believed in him. He'd worked with him.
And if you've worked with someone, then you've got to take heed, haven't you? And Steve Cooper, you know, he, as you say, he worked with him at the youth level at England, so he knew what he was doing. But it raised a few eyebrows, mine included. And but he's certainly repaying that fee now because he looks an unbelievable talent.
I must ask you about the job Nuno's doing, though, because we're talking about Steve Cooper. When he was removed and Nuno went in, it was keep Forest in the league. That was the remit. But he's built on that, and here we are, a top 3 team in the Premier.
And not only that, Steve, I think he went in there. I think the crowd were underwhelmed because Steve Cooper, remarkably, was probably the most popular manager since Brian Clough, and I think there was an element of the crowd that decided they thought that this was unfair for him to lose his job, but in Kim Nuno grabbed a hold of it. I think the most important thing was that one staying up and then pre-season. I think the pre-season was a big thing for them because he got to work with them. I've heard the stories emanating from the City ground that they worked very, very hard, but he got to know the players, as you do. You know, you're gathered together there for about 2 or 3 weeks and most of the time that you're abroad, you get a bit of sun on your back and things like this here, but you get to know the players. And I think they worked a few things as well too, and I think the pre-season was a lot of running as well too. So in terms of fitness, all of those type of things, I think it stood them in great, great stead. But all of those points he's made, he's come in and I think you'd nearly almost say that almost quietly went on with the job. You know, he plays things down all the time. Most of us would want to do that, but essentially it's a splendid job, really. And even, you know, as I said to you, expectation is so high now that if they didn't make a European place, it might be disappointing. But overall, from the position that they were in, for him to do the job he's done, it's been terrific. The number of points that they've garnered during the course of a calendar year is remarkable.
Well, let's see if he's down playing tonight, because he will have enjoyed it back at Molineux. That 3-0 win. Here he is, Nuno.
Nuno, 6 wins in a row, and that hasn't happened for an awfully long time, since the mid-60s. But how good does that feel right now? Because obviously you go level on points with Arsenal as well, joint second in the Premier League.
It feels good, essentially, basically because we work very hard to achieve. The boys work really, really hard. And today again, tough game. I think we started really well the game, but Wolves reacted. They had chances. Mats was amazing for us today to keep us in the game. And then I think we control well, but really proud of the ethic, work ethic that the players have, the tasks, the help, and then the desire to go in front and score. It's good.
You can certainly feel the energy. You can certainly hear it from the away dressing room behind us as well. But is it just as simple as humility, being humble, working hard, that confidence? It can take you to wherever you want it to lead to.
It's a very tough competition. We never know. You're gonna play. We face always very tough opponents. But like you said, stay humble, realizing that we didn't achieve nothing, that we have to work until the end. This is what can lead us to good moments.
Morgan Gibbs-White was talking to the guys in the studio. Thomas Tuchel was obviously here and he was taking in the match as well. He said his concentration is on the club football, but ultimately you play well for the club. You get recognised from an international point of view as well.
Of course, so we have a lot of players that play for their national teams. Morgan is one of them. This ambition to play for national teams only makes the players better. So I tell them, want this, but to achieve this you have to work very, very well in your club, so the national team coaches can see you and then take advantage if he considers.
You talk about ambition, but Nuno, what was your ambition at the start of the season? We know what the target was when you came into Nottingham Forest, but this ambition now, this position that you find yourself in, what would be your ambition?
My ambition is always the same. As a coaching staff, we have this ambition, natural ambition of improving the players. This is what we are obsessed of. If we improve the player, the team will improve, and if the team improves, the club will improve, and the city will be happy.
There's just one thing I want to ask you as well. That penalty decision that didn't go your way, are you accepting of the reasons why you weren't awarded that penalty in the first half?
I didn't see the images, but they check it. We had a conversation with the force. He says they are checking, and then it's the decision of the referee. Let's not get into that.
He can't take that smile away from you right now, can he?
It's right. Yes.
Yeah. Nuno, well done, brilliant stuff.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
Well, if you can't smile now, you never will. 6 wins in a row, one off the club record, May 79 to September 79, when it was 7. Ring any bells, Martin?
Yes, it does, Steve. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah. Too young to remember, young man. You weren't even born.
I was born in 79.
Were you?
Yeah. But I can't remember that.
But again, that puts into context just where Forest are at in the history of their club at the moment.
Yeah, without boasting, we went on to win the league and 2 European Cups and 2 League Cups. They've a wee bit to do yet before they do that. I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah.
No, as if I...
And so you should.
Thank you very much. Thank you, mate.
Just
You
don't
didn't do
mention
too
any
badly,
League Cups as a manager. Do me a favour. But Nuno, I mean, he's right to smile at the moment. I mean, what should his ambition be?
Well, I guess European football now, it's a distinct
He
possibility.
did it with Wolves. He got to the Europa League quarter-finals with Wolves, didn't
yeah, yeah. There's a couple of teams, as Martin mentioned earlier, underperforming, the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Manchester United, so you can pretty much rule Manchester United out, probably Tottenham as well. And all of a sudden, it just narrows it down a little bit. And their competitors are the teams like Aston Villa and teams like that. Realistically, I can't see them troubling Liverpool, Arsenal for that matter. But why can't they hang around and loiter around and finish fourth? That would be incredible season. So I think, yeah, European football, if you want to get greedy, Champions League football.
Yeah, I would have been dubious about a month ago before they started this run. But you're talking about 18 points from 6 games. That's a lot. You can't get any more. So it's phenomenal. And suddenly you put yourself into a position. It's just that I look at some of the sides, there's big sides that are out of contention at this moment. And I look at the other teams that might affect their position. I think Manchester City are able to gain ground again. I think they can do that. I think that Chelsea can, despite the wobbles. But at the end, there's a fight on there. And some of the sides below them who wouldn't have the same strength and depth as them, like the likes of Bournemouth, who are doing wonderfully well at the end of it. But sides like that there, Brighton, I don't think would have the wherewithal to go on. So Nottingham Forest have got to be looking that way. Like all managers, they want to play it down, he has done, but there's no doubt somewhere along the way. I know, I love this phrase, if we can improve the players. Well, of course, if you can improve the players, we'll all love that line that everything else will happen. It doesn't necessarily work out. Don't get me wrong, they'll be in this room, they'll gather tomorrow morning, that they seem to have a big squad of coaches there. They'll be in the room and they'll be looking at that table as well and thinking, we've got a chance here.
And Liverpool will be looking at a very difficult away game on Tuesday night now, the only team to beat them.
All of a sudden, exactly, they'll be thinking, right, let's not get beat anyway, let's keep them at arm's distance. So it's all hotting up nicely. Who would have thought it?